One of these men won more golf tournaments than anyone who ever lived. The other won more majors than anyone who ever lived. And they are not the same man. Tiger Woods has 82 PGA Tour wins, tying the all-time record that stood for 60 years. Jack Nicklaus has 18 major championships, the number every golfer on earth has chased for half a century, and nobody has caught. One of them was the most dominant player the sport has ever seen. The other was the most decorated. So who is the real greatest golfer of all time? The man with the most wins? Or the man with the most majors? Let the numbers settle it. Here is what makes golf's greatest debate impossible. Every other sport counts titles. Golf counts two things at once. There are wins. Every tournament, every week, all season long. And there are majors, the 4 tournaments a year that actually define a career. Tiger Woods is the king of one list. Jack Nicklaus is the king of the other. If greatness is total domination across an entire career, one man wins. If greatness is what you do on the 4 biggest weekends of the year, the other man wins. Same sport, 2 crowns, and they do not sit on the same head. Start with the number that has haunted golf for 50 years. 18. Jack Nicklaus won 18 major championships. And think about how long that record has stood. He won his last one in 1986. At 46 years old, the oldest man ever to win the Masters. Nobody has matched 18 since. Not Palmer, not Player, not Watson, and not Tiger. Nicklaus didn't just win majors. He contended in them for 25 straight years. When the trophy that defines the sport is the one you are counting, Jack Nicklaus is still right now the standard. 18 is the mountain. Everyone else is climbing. But majors aren't the only way to measure a god. Because no one ever dominated golf the way Tiger Woods did. 82 PGA Tour victories, tying a record many thought untouchable. 683 weeks ranked number 1 in the world, more than anyone in history by a mile. And then there is the year 2000. 9 wins in a single season. 3 majors. He won the US Open by 15 shots, the largest margin in the history of major championship golf. And he held all 4 major trophies at the same time, the Tiger Slam, something not even Nicklaus ever did. At his peak, Tiger Woods didn't beat the field. He broke it. And yet, be careful before you hand it to the peak, because Jack Nicklaus has a number that might be worth more than 18. 19. 19 times Nicklaus finished second in a major. Add the wins, and he finished top 10 in a major more than 70 times. That is not a hot streak. That is a quarter century of being the best, or nearly the best, every single time it mattered. And he did it against Arnold Palmer and Gary Player in their primes. In an era with no sports science, wooden clubs, and softer balls. Tiger burned brightest, but nobody stood at the top of golf longer or more often than Jack Nicklaus. And then came the twist nobody could have written. Because by 2017, Tiger Woods was finished. 4 back surgeries. A body so broken he needed a spinal fusion just to walk without pain. 11 years since his last major. The experts had written the obituary. He was a cautionary tale. And then in 2019, at 43 years old, Tiger Woods walked up the 18th at Augusta and won the Masters, his 15th major, the greatest comeback the sport had ever seen. It didn't catch Nicklaus. It didn't have to. It proved the one thing the numbers couldn't, that on his day, even a broken Tiger Woods was still Tiger Woods. So does the peak win? Or does the record still stand? So ask a Nicklaus believer who's the greatest, and they'll give you one number. 18. Majors are the only currency that matters, they'll say, and Jack has the most, and he's had the most for 40 years. He finished top 10 in a major more than 70 times. He contended for 25 years against the deepest fields golf had ever seen. And the doubters? Even they go quiet at the record. You can win every ordinary tournament on the calendar. But majors are what history remembers. 18 is the number. And until someone passes it, the argument has an answer. That is the case for the record. Now ask a Tiger believer and they'll point everywhere else. 82 wins, they'll say. 683 weeks at number 1. The Tiger Slam. A season in 2000 no human has come close to matching. He didn't just win, he terrified the sport, changed how it was played and dragged it into a new era of money and athletes. And the critics? They point at the majors. 15. 3 short. But Tiger, the believers answer, was the most dominant force the game has ever known, by a distance no single stat can capture. That is the case for the peak. So the honest scorecard. PGA Tour wins. Woods, 82-73, held all 4 majors at once. Woods. The Tiger Slam, alone. The career Grand Slam, completed youngest. Woods, at 24. But runner-up finishes in majors. Nicklaus. 19-7. The oldest man to win a major. Nicklaus. At 46. And the number that ends most arguments. Major titles. Nicklaus. 18-15. Woods owns the peak. Nicklaus owns the record. One was the most dominant player alive. The other won the only trophies history bothers to count. More than anyone ever has. So here is where it lands. If greatness is the 4 weekends a year that history remembers, the majors, the record, the 18 that has stood for 2 generations, then it's Jack Nicklaus. And until someone reaches 18, it stays that way. But if greatness is total, terrifying domination, the wins, the weeks at number 1, a peak so high the sport had never seen it, and hasn't since, then it's Tiger Woods. And it isn't particularly close. One man has the number, the other had the aura. And maybe the cruelest truth is this. Tiger got within 3, with a body that betrayed him a decade early. We will never know what a healthy Tiger does to 18. So we'll ask you, is it the majors or the man? Drop your verdict in the comments and tell us who is really the greatest golfer who ever lived.